Gino Pettis Adventures. I'm still Gino, and this is my friend Felix, and we will have a link in the description. The very first link will be for his training, so after the video, you can go to the link and click and see his training. Felix, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you, Gino, for having me on the channel. I think this is either the second or third time, so really appreciate you bringing me on.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you again. It's good to see you. And if you could tell the listeners who you are.
Cool. So yeah, my name is Felix Wisniewski. I have a channel called Giant Lifestyle. I have another channel called Flipping Medical Commodities University. I'm based from New Jersey. I'm currently in Colombia, just like Gino, but I'm in Medellin, and I'll probably stay out here for the remainder of until it gets warm again in New Jersey. I have a bunch of businesses that run in New Jersey, but it's pretty much automated and on autopilot. And one of the businesses that me and Gino are going to talk about tonight is the business of buying and reselling medical commodities, also known as buying and reselling diabetic testing supplies. It's a business that I discovered in like 2015/2016, and it's changed my life. And I've gone on to invest into real estate, help my parents, and I've showed quite a handful of people how to do this business for themselves as well. In fact, Gino is actually a student of mine. I showed him how to do it, I don't know, probably over a year ago, right?
No, it's been like 3 years, Felix.
3 years.
3 years, I think. But anyway, yeah, if it wasn't for Felix, I'm not sure I'd be in Colombia, because his flipping medical commodities let me put a nest egg together big enough to break away from the United States and come down here and live happily ever after. Thank you, Felix.
No problem, man. This business changed my life, so I just want to share it with other people.
How long have you been an entrepreneur?
So I actually read the book, which I tattooed on myself because it was so influential, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I read that book in 2013, and I mean, it's been an up and down journey, as everybody knows, but I never looked back. And probably over the past, I don't know, say maybe 2 or 3 years is where, maybe 2 or 3, maybe like 3.5 years is where a majority of my success came from. So now I could live down here in Colombia, where my real estate and my business of buying and reselling diabetic testing supplies is basically fully automated back in New Jersey.
Cool. So how did you actually get started in the medical commodities business? It was kind of by happenstance, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was doing, there's a method of real estate called basically real estate wholesaling, where you don't need any money. You don't, basically just flipping pieces of paper, you're flipping contracts. And basically what happened is I was basically doing a joint venture with a buddy of mine. Well, I thought he was a buddy of mine, and the deal basically fell through at the last minute. And real estate wholesaling, for anybody that doesn't know, it's like very sporadic. You might do a deal, you might wait 2 or 3 months, you might do another deal, you might wait a few days, do another deal, you might wait 6 months and do another deal. So the money's very sporadic until you get it to the point where you're able to close a few deals a month. But that level of real estate investing for that method takes a long time. So sure. I did like a few deals, but this deal was a JV where I was gonna probably cash out somewhere between 25 and 30,000. But at the end, right at the day of the closing, the deal fell through. Now, the other guy that I was doing the deal with, he didn't really care because he had like a cash flow. And, when you don't have any money coming in, it could get real scarce, and, you'll be counting on the money. So the money that I thought we were going to close out on that deal with, it never really closed. And, this guy never even really pursued it hard enough because, he had the stream of the
cash flow from somewhere else.
So I was like, I offered to pay him, I offered to work with him, and he wasn't having it. So I was like, you know what, let me figure this out. It took me like 6 or 7 months because I didn't know what.
Oh, so he was already doing the medical commodities himself.
He was already doing it on the side.
Okay.
And I was just doing real estate at the time. And when the deal fell through, I was like, okay, look, man, I need something. I need to bring something in, because I was young. I didn't have too many bills, but I didn't want to. I was right at the border of either I make something happen or I have to go back to a job. So I offered to pay him. I offered to work for him. He wasn't really having it. Well, it took me like 6 or 6.5 months to figure out what diabetic supplies to buy, who to sell them to. And, once I did, I took off. But that's basically how I got into the business.
Oh, okay. Can anybody do it?
Anybody can do it. I mean, as long as you have, I have a student who started when he was 16. I have my buddies, and he was 16 years old. If you go to my channel, you'll see it. His name is Jerry. He did $3,000 in profit his first month. He's out in Seattle. I have my childhood friend's little brother who's 14 who's doing it. So as long as you could have like a bank account, you could do it. You don't need no license. You don't need anything special requirements. Anybody, young, old, Gino, you're much older than me, so it doesn't really play any favorites. Men, women. If you're looking for a business that's pretty simple, you don't really need any tech skills. Men, women, young, old, black, white, green, purple, 2 eyes or 10 eyes. It doesn't matter.
I'll say one thing: you've got to be able to read, and you got to be able to watch a video. And if you don't do the time, you can't do it. If you don't actually commit, you can't do it. But how much money can people make doing this?
So
Felix?
typically, I'll tell people typically, and what I always do on my channel, and if you watch my videos, I always keep it real. I always keep it authentic, and I shoot from the hip. Some people on the internet will tell you in your first month, you'll get a Lamborghini. In your second month, you'll have a Rolex. In your third month, you'll have it's just not realistic.
No.
First month, buying and reselling diabetic testing supplies, especially if you enroll into the university training that I have, and I'll give you a link so you can put it down in the description, Gino, for that I have. But in the first month, typically you should make somewhere between $750 and $1,500 profit. In your second month, or by day 60, somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500, and by day 90 or the end of the third month, somewhere between $2,500 to $3,500 per month. I just had a client text me who took my training. He said it's almost the end of month 2, and he's almost at like 15,000. So that's not everybody. I'm not sure exactly how much you made, but that's like a ballpark number of how much you can make.
Well, that's cool, because my first month I made about $850, and then it got to the point where some months I'd make $3,500 or $3,000 or $2,800, and then some months I wouldn't make that much. But it was consistent. But it took a few months for me to get on track. If you work it, it'll work. But you're not going to buy a Lamborghini the first month.
Yeah, but I know that it's just for some motivation. I know a guy who's been doing this business probably about 2 years longer than me, so probably 2013, and he's got a Bentley, a Lambo. I think he might actually have 2 Lambos, and it's all from buying and reselling diabetic testing supplies.
Excellent. Well, Felix, can you do it in Colombia?
So, I'm in Colombia right now. You can't away. You can't buy. There's no I'm sure there's diabetics here, but you have to buy US based product. What I recommend is, if you're looking to maybe move to Colombia, or you need some extra money to pay bills, or you want to go on vacation, set it up in the States. So I have 2 of my childhood friends that basically run the entire business for me. And I've been out here since August 25th. So, if you set it up in the States and you set up systems, you can run it from Colombia. I probably check on my test strip business or medical commodity business, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week, but it basically runs without me. But in the beginning, you kind of have to be there to be the boots on the ground to get it set up. So yes, you can run it from Colombia, not right away, but I think it's a good way to either bring some extra money in, stack up a nest egg, or just be able to have, some extra money coming in, like I said.
Yeah, I got a call yesterday. I got this guy wanting to sell some pods. And so I hooked him up with one of my buyers, and hopefully that'll work. But it's a lot harder from here, especially if you don't have something set up when you leave.
Yeah.
So is it really expensive to get started?
No. So I typically tell people, as far as how much you need to get started, between buying the product and doing some marketing, anywhere between like $250 to $500. You can do it with less. That the guy who I said that was 16, one of my students, Jared, after he bought my training, he had like $20 to his name, and I have payment plans. The training is, I'll leave a link. It's very affordable. It's under $500. I have payment options as well. But after he bought my training, he had like $20, took 20, flipped it to 60, took 60, flipped it to 150. So you could get started with, like, on a shoestring budget. But I tell people, just like, any business, any business is going to require some startup capital. There's no business, and like 250 to 500 is nothing. Imagine if you're starting a franchise. Chick-fil-A wants you to have $1 million in net worth. If you're starting any other business, real estate, anything is going to require thousands of dollars. You can get this off the ground with 250 to 500 bucks.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Felix. I really appreciate it. Is there any last thing you'd like to tell my viewers?
Yeah, what I would say is, check me out on YouTube. I have this channel called Giant Lifestyle. I also have another channel called Flipping Medical Commodities University, where I have over 100 videos breaking down this business from A to Z. And then I have a training called Flipping Medical Commodities University, where I literally show you how to do this business A to Z, what product to buy, what not to buy, what to say, what to pay, what to do, what to look for. I give you access to me. So if you have any questions, you could give me a call. Sometimes, with I actually have two phones. This is my US number and this is my Colombian number, because sometimes that US number out of nowhere, it works sometimes, but sometimes it just completely falls out and I have to use my Colombian number. So I give you access to me, the course, the buyers, a group chat, and everything you need to succeed doing this business. There's over 30 million people in America with diabetes. And then one last thing I just want to say, because you might get some comments like this. People will say, oh, well, you're taking advantage of people who, need these supplies. Actually, we're helping them because they get the surplus of supplies they don't need. And, they'll otherwise just get thrown out. Actually, we help them get recycled on the shelf. And then two, it's like the world we live in. Like this business, you're either going to take advantage of the opportunity that's there, or you're going to sit on the side and say it's messed up. I think it's messed up too, because all in all, they probably have the cure. Like the pandemic, was it about money? Who really knows? But I'm pretty sure a lot of these diseases and medical things that go on in the world, they have the cure, but that green dollar makes people do certain things that they may otherwise not do if money wasn't involved. So, the opportunity is huge. If you want to learn more about it, then like I said, check me out. 2 channels, Giant Lifestyle and Flipping Medical Commodities University. And then Gino will leave a link to the training. It's under $500, and you can definitely make yourself some money. So I appreciate you having me on, Gino.
Great, Felix. It's good to have you, just like always. And we'll have the link on there and see if we can't get some people. And I just want to say something too. You're not taking care of these people. They're getting ready to throw this stuff away, and you're actually going to give them some cash back that they would have never had. So, advantage managed.
They're either going to sit on their shelf and expire, or they're going to take the supplies and throw them in the garbage. Yeah. So, I have clients who I buy product from every single month or every 2 months, and people tell me, hey, I get 15 extra boxes I don't need. And the money you give me helps me pay my phone bill, my car note, this, that, the third. So, we're actually providing a really good service, and at the same time, it's very lucrative and you can make a lot of money. So that's why, this business changed my life. And, I want to share with others, because I think some people will say, oh, you're making competition for yourself, or it's going to be saturated. If you even think in saturation, you already lost. And there's plenty of money to go around this world for everybody. So, so there you guys have it. And again, Gino, thank you for bringing me on the channel.
Thank you, Felix. With that, remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Click the link, something will change. God bless you, Felix. Thanks. I'm signing out. This is Gino. We'll see you on the flip side.